What's up everyone, Blade here, and welcome back to another video of Persona 5X. Inside today's video, guys, we're going to be going ahead and going over the MINDSCAPE system, seeing that TW, KR, and CN got a new part of it recently, as well as on global. We're getting to that point in time where we should have not only just the outer track, but the inner track of MINDSCAPE, seeing that in 3.0.1, Mock Figure Skater released with this update. So I thought what better time to go ahead and update the actual guide than now, and I think a lot of you guys will appreciate it. So as always, hopefully you guys do enjoy the video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It does help me out quite a lot. We hit the 17K threshold, and I'm going to be trying to go for 20K subscribers before my birthday, which is going to be April 18th. And that's also the same date for TW and KR's actual celebration for the anniversary. So all you guys help would be freaking amazing if you can. And before we get into the video, I do have one more announcement. Now, a lot of you guys have noticed on my channel, I've obviously been expanding a lot more with different games, P5X always being the center of it and always the one that will stay on this channel. But one of the things that I've been doing a lot more has been sponsorships, seeing that not only is it a little bit hard on YouTube to get anything that you really need to, but I've been trying to really get prepared for not only just my schooling semester that's coming up in January, but also upgrading my quality, meaning upgrading my PC. Now, one of these main sponsors have been Raid Shadow Legends. I know a lot of you guys are gonna, of course, just like absolutely meme the crap out of it because I do it too. But this is one of the times that I do need a lot of you guys to participate or at least help me out a little bit more. I try to do this sponsorship a lot with them because they're really helping me out on not only just improving my content, but funding a lot of my things for my equipment in general. So to make better P5X content, I do need a little bit of help, and this partnership is incredibly important to me. One of the things that I want you guys to do, give Raid a little bit of a shot. I know, of course, that may be like some people's kryptonite as if they're Superman a little bit here, but seeing that it isn't really an animated game here, I do want you guys to go ahead and give it a shot. It's actually not a bad game, and after I've been playing it for quite a while, this isn't me being, of course, you know, shilling or anything like that. You guys know me clear cut. I've been inside the Discord playing this like 24/7, and I want some of you guys to give it a shot. I do have a link that gives you about like $200 worth of stuff on your account here, and it's mainly stuff that you'll be able to get through leveling up, as well as different codes such as like Desert Queen that gives you a lovely hero. And I gotta say, the game is pretty darn fun. If you don't like it, of course, give it at least a try for about 10 to 20 minutes. Don't like it, uninstall it. But one of the things I want to do is at least give it a shot, guys. It really does mean a lot to me if you can, and it helps out a channel immensely. So if you guys can give it a shot, be sure to do so. But let's get straight to the video. All right, so now that we went through all of this here, the one thing I gotta say about MINDSCAPE is, man, is it a huge deal. MINDSCAPE itself is one of the few things that is universal with all characters, and we currently only have the outer track for the global end, while on TW we have the outer track, the inner track, and most recently this here for certain characters, which I'm just gonna call it a ZENKAI, or like a good, I guess you could say, I gotta remember what the other one was. It was like ZENKAI as well as Easy A if you guys play Dokkan. So both of these things has been kind of inside this game for quite some time, and I want to explain it a little bit more thoroughly. So when it does come down to every last character, they're always going to have this same little function here. But the one thing that's going to be important to you guys is actually paying attention to the inner track. Right now in global, we have the outer track, and all this does is increase our HP, defense, and attack stats pretty much just by a small amount here. And this is going to be something that you're going to be able to do on any character you want, because these items right here is going to take a long time to run out of, especially in the future. We're going to get a ton of different characters. There's going to be obvious different ways and game modes that you can obtain these said stars that are just going to make them irresistible. For example, just to go ahead and finish out the outer track here, most of these stars are going to come away straight from the challenge battle area, which if you have all of this completed, you're getting a max of 270. Now, granted, I can get this 272 very easily, but I'm kind of lazy, so I just stick with the 270, and I always have stuck with it for quite some time. But there's also other areas that you can get this from, one of them being the Tycoon area that can give you a lot more as well. So if we go ahead and take a look at some of the exchange areas, they give you different ways of getting these stars a ton. So going ahead and checking this here, you can see inside of our My Palace, there's ways to get them in here. inside of the tycoon area. If we go ahead and take a look at in here as well, there should be different ones that you can get in here as well down the line. And so there's just a ton of places that you can honestly get these stars from. So stars on the outer tier layer is never going to be a problem. They're only just minute buffs, nothing too crazy that global should be worried about, and a lot of you guys have probably already started messing with. Now where things does get a little bit more interesting is going to be the inner tier. This is going to be where a lot of more stats are now customized to the characters themselves, and you can actually see this immediately if we go ahead and look at each character. We have, for example, Loose Knock looking with these different icons that are obviously helping him out accordingly. And then if we take a look at like Anj here, instead of having that damage bonus that was here, it's now HP, attack percent, and her 2 skills. This is just because it's now going to be more customized to the character, and it's more going to be very good for you to actually go ahead and complete, though it is a little bit expensive. So going ahead and taking a look at a character like Haru, seeing that she recently did come out on the global end here, I think this will be a great time to go ahead and actually tell what she does. Well, we have her customized stats here, the first one being an attack percent increase, the second one being more of a skill increase right there. The third one we don't really got to worry about because this is like basic stats as well, so don't worry about the bell. But the fourth one being a crit damage increase, and then obviously the fifth one being another skill increase. Now all these things are going to be very, very important, and I think the best way to show at least how important they are is also utilizing Lefel.net. So on Lefel.net here, you can immediately see we have obviously the stat 1 increase, which is obviously the attack percentage being by 20% at max. We have the skill enforcement, which is right next to it, being the skill 3 and highlights. This is going to be mainly something that you want to pay attention to as well. And this is going to use or at least increase how those stats do go on those skills. Then we have the stat 2 being the crit damage, which is going up to a max of 24%. And the skill enforce 2, which is helping out the skill 1 and skill 2. Now every character is going to have their skills that they do prefer the most, especially inside of Mindscape, which on Lefel they showed you that it will be the stat 2 and the skill enforce 1. So usually you want to make sure you're getting the crit damage up and the skill enforcement 1, seeing that this is helping not only your skill 3 as well as your highlight. Good part about this, you get a lot of bonuses for it, especially if you go ahead and increase it. But the bad part comes down to the materials that they do take. Unlike the stars that we have that we can pretty much obtain everywhere here, these can be a little bit harder to get. Now these orbs themselves are going to be found in 2 different areas, or at least 3 different areas themselves. One of them being in different events, the second one being inside of the actual exchange shop that I showed you guys beforehand, and then the third one being ASTROLABE. ASTROLABE is a very interesting mode here that you're going to be doing a lot of gimmicky fights, and by doing those said gimmicky fights, you'll be able to get these materials to then inlay. By going ahead and pressing this here, let's just do it just for the video. You obviously do upgrade the skill itself, and as you go up, you then start to change these items on over. Eventually you'll get to these items, and man does it start to get expensive. These items you also can get from ASTROLABE, but you get a very little amount of them, and majority of them are going to either come from some high tier events or either are going to come from the wallet. So I mean, this is where the inner stats are really expensive. Not only are you helping your characters with just their actual basic stats that you can get out, which Haru is specialized on the attack percent and crit damage side, but you truly do need to actually focus on your skill 3 highlights and these lovely inlaid skills here. So it can be very, very expensive. But once again, you can get these items from ASTROLABE, in which we're going to try and explain exactly what this is as well. ASTROLABE is a list of different gimmick fights, and you can use various different teams to really take it down. Some fights, depending on what they are, will give you just the basic amount, which is always these little gold things here and a bunch of stars. But there's always some fights that are either these purple ones that will give you some of these gold things and one of these specialized materials, or either the one red one that you will give that will give a lot more of these gold materials and then a little bit more of these rainbow materials. Now this resets usually, I want to say every 3 patches or so. Each time, of course, a week reset, you get around like 4 of these. I believe they are changing how this does react and work on TW and KR. They're just going to give you all of them at once, so you can just do it all at your own time here. And by going ahead and doing these battles, you're going to get a ton of these materials. Now each time this does reset, it is a different season, so they are going to have their different little gimmick fights, but it's really not too bad for a lot of you guys. As long as you're paying attention to exactly what the gimmick does do, obviously you should be able to steamroll it pretty darn easy. And after they ended up nerfing this thing, it really isn't too hard as well. So I mean, actually passing it and getting through it should be pretty much a breeze for a lot of you guys, except for the first season. I think the first season is going to be the roughest time for a lot of folks. After that, season 2 is pretty easy. But all you need to know, this is a lovely game mode that you're going to get a ton of these materials for on your inner track for Mindscapes, and that's about it. Now the thing about this here is recently they added the third part to Mindscapes themselves, which is this little icon right here. Now we knew this icon was going to have some type of relevance inside of the game, but we didn't know exactly how. Now currently only 3 characters have this icon, which is Yui, Phoebe, as well as Smoko. And if we check their stats right here, they have this outer stat, but the thing is now saying new over here, and it no longer is locked. This is pretty much the ZENKAI system, or kind of like a easy system where the older characters are now being heavily buffed. By going ahead and doing some of this other stuff on the side here, you're starting to make the character even better than what they originally were, which can be fairly nice to do. The only hard part about this is some of the rewards are very hard to get. Currently we have an event that's going on right now that is allowing us to get some of these here, and I think this is the only way you're going to get them is from events currently. But in the future they most likely will be releasing game modes, which we do know 2 new game modes are coming out to actually give us more of these. All you need to know is they are going to have their own custom upgrades, as you can see here, and we have like some upgrades on different like damage bonus stats or either different stats in total that will help you absolutely upgrade your character. Obviously, since this is just recently new, I don't have the utmost amount of information on it, but as time goes on, I will update this and will keep you guys informed on how this does work, because I'm wondering how really much this does actually affect the character. So guys, look forward to this. It's going to be an interesting one as well. But now we're going to the prioritizing side. Now, a lot of you guys have noticed that there are a ton of characters that are going to need this in the long run, and this is going to be a very hardcore thing to go about. One of the things I got to say is when you're doing Mindscape, you got to take into account exactly what characters you really want to go for, and some of them that I'll immediately say right now. Try to focus always on your limited character. Obviously there are some standards that you can very well focus on. The ones that I would probably focus on the most is maybe like Marion. Once you guys get, not Phoebe right now though, once you guys go ahead and get like Howler or Turbo, those would be good characters to go ahead and focus on, seeing that at that point in time they're going to be very, very powerful. But when it comes down to the inner stats, I would advise you guys to focus on your DPS and your supporters, mainly because with the DPS, obviously you want to get as much damage out as possible. So being able to actually fix their damage as much as possible is going to be very, very helpful. And then when it comes down to your supporters, really focus on your Navi. Your Navi is going to be very hard to get rid of. Unlike your supporters, we're slowly starting to get a lot more of those guys, while our Navis aren't going anywhere. So prioritize those characters first. So some characters that are on global right now that I would say you want to prioritize with getting the mental images for is going to be obviously Noir, Queen here, Joker, because he does not disappear whatsoever, and then obviously try to get Moko, or at least try to get one more DPS, because these DPSs are pretty much your go-to DPS, but that's usually going to be closer tropical. As for the other characters that need to be highlighted in this game as the ones you want to go ahead and go for that are on global, this would be Navi, your Navi being of course Futaba. I just called her Navi by mistake, but Futaba, and then Cord. These two definitely I would say you want to go ahead and invest into their mental images. Moko, I love her all day. As good as she really is, she's one of those few characters that you do have to invest a lot of time into and have a specific team for. While all the other characters that I did mention here, not only are they just DPSs, but they are pretty much in any team. So we have, like, of course, our Futaba that's in any team. We have Core that's in any team usually. If you wanted to invest into some of your standard characters, you can easily say Marion can go into any team. You can easily say that Phoebe can go into those, and you really just want to go into those supporters / Navi areas. I think that's the best way to prioritize it, but try to prioritize one DPS at a time. If you really want the best way to do it here, Go for one AoE DPS, being like Haru, seeing if that's your strongest AoE DPS, and then go for your strongest single target DPS to prioritize the best that you can really do here. So keep in mind, doing this is not cheap. It is very expensive, and the prices for getting these inner ones in is very expensive as well. So make sure it's a character that you truly want to invest in. But with that all out the way here, you guys, hopefully you did enjoy it here. And once again, if you guys can, please do try out 3 Shadow Legends as well. I do have my links down below. I'm trying to make sure we get as much quality content on this channel as possible. So the sooner I'll be able to, of course, upgrade my PC, the better. It's going to take a lot of you guys actually just going ahead and trying out the partnership. It is important to me a lot here. So please do consider looking at it. Links down below. And till next time, everybody, peace out.